Hey, it is 7:02 straight up on the East Coast. Dave Glover, Boogie with the Bull, Uncensored, Tuesday night live with Jen Woodruff, Randy Rhodes. Wait a minute, I'm going to change this. Well, let's see. We're either going to change this way, or maybe we're not because it's not going to let me do it. We're either going to change it this way, or we're going to change it this way. No, not that way. This way.
Lovely, thank you.
There. Because everybody watches Jen anyway. Jen Woodruff, the homeschooling mom, is with us. Randy Rhodes, All Roads Lead to Home Genealogy. Some guy named Dave Glover who has so many broadcasts he can't name them. Is with us here too. We're live on the Dave Glover profile here on Facebook. We're live on the Boogie with the Bull page over there on Facebook. And no, that's not going to work. All right, we'll figure that out later. Anyway, political stuff and whatever comes out of our mouths. I do owe Randy Rhodes an apology because I got upset at him earlier for reading a post that finally got to me about 4 days after it went into the Facebook news feed that talked about a compilation or a collaboration between Boogie with the Bull and All Roads Lead to Home Genealogy Services to do a broadcast talking about the 38 Indians that were hung in 1862. I did that from memory, Randy. You should be impressed. Because I know Randy and I were talking about it on a Monday or Wednesday. Actually, I think we were talking about it on Monday. And I said to Randy it would be a fantastic broadcast. And then naturally I didn't follow up with Randy as to when we're going to do it. So I promised. We can touch on it a little tonight if all of us want. We can maybe do it as a combined history lesson with Jen, the homeschooling mom, on Thursday, as well as other stuff that we want to include in the broadcast as well. So we have an election coming up in 75 or 6 days. Make sure you're registered to vote. And from that, we'll go with, Randy, do you want to go or Jim, you want to go?
Why is he shaking his head? No, he does not want to.
All right, well then, Jen, you state your case for why you were here then.
Okay, hi guys, hi Randy. I love the hat. It matches the flag behind you. I know he's a rebel. That's great. Anyhow, during this time of the DNC convention, I was getting very frustrated because I don't care who. I do care. I love that Donald Trump is running, but I am getting very frustrated at what the DNC is doing in posting up Kamala because they didn't invite her in. They just they didn't vote her in. They actually, the party that is fighting so hard for democracy picked their candidates and they installed them. And it's not even them. I think it's the cabal. It has nothing to do with election integrity, nothing to do with voting people in whatsoever. They're just installing them because these are the people that they want to run the world. And the biggest problem I have with it is when she starts talking about all the spending she's going to do and how she's going to fix the grocery gouging on day one. And I'm like, we're past day one. You know, it's been over 12,000. They've counted it. I don't know how many it is.
1,200.
Been flying co-pilot. She's been flying co-pilot for the last 3.5 years.
Yeah, the upper 1,200 days.
Ever since they did the coup on Joe and he's gone, she's it. And she has done nothing. We can't afford groceries and gas, and you're stuffing this electric car down our throat. No, what about we the people? She is trying to incite a Revolutionary War 2.0. That's what it feels like, because that's exactly how we got our independence the first time in 1776. And here we go again. Sorry, I'll shut up. Go ahead, Randy.
Can you guys, I got my microphone a little bit away from me. Can you guys hear me clearly? Send me the microphone closer.
No,
I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Okay. I just personally, and I've said this, and you guys heard it before. We're not going to get to November 4th. Okay. There's more and more talk about the monkeypox, which they could use as a reason to shut down the election and make it a mail-in election only. We have Putin, who's getting his ass kicked by the Ukrainians on all the fronts right now, primarily because of the United States providing them with all the equipment they need. Because, see, the problem is, Russia supposedly getting some stuff from North Korea and China, but in small amounts. So the only way Russia can replace their lost equipment is to fire up the manufacturing business and get production going. And that takes time. I mean, you just don't, peel out a couple of jet fighters and, naval battleships in a couple of days. It takes months and sometimes years. So they have a problem with replenishment of their military hardware. Manpower, they're good for. I mean, they still have a large population of men and eventually women to pull from, whereas Ukrainians, unfortunately, they can't replace their lost manpower when they have deaths in the field, because right now no country is willing to send their soldiers to fight side by side, but they do have the ability to provide them with all the equipment. So I was doing some, like I said, I love having the dual monitors. I can do what do the live broadcast plus look at the monitors for the news. And the Ukrainians, because of the United States is getting some pretty neat shit to fight with in the field. They got the jet fighters, they got the tanks, they got the armored division, they got the rifles, the bullets, the ammunition, the first aid shit, and now they are using these damn robotic dogs. And the last I saw of them was in China, where they were using them to keep the people inside during the pandemic. But the Ukrainians are using these militarized mechanical dogs to go into battlefield to shoot and kill the Russians.
Where did you hear this from? This is
I just saw it on my newsreel.
Partly there's one question. Where did you hear that?
Right here it is.
That Putin is getting his rear end crushed, because Michael Anthony did, in a discussion with me yesterday, show me a post that clearly says that Vladimir Putin is inviting anyone who lives in the Western Hemisphere who is fed up with the way life is in the United States of America to come move to Russia.
And they would be absolutely stupid to do that, because once you go in there, and I'm sure you're going to have to become a Russian citizen, and then guess what? Your ass is getting drafted into the military.
Wow. I don't believe that was true. It could be, but I don't believe that came up in the conversation. I'm just throwing to you what Michael said to me. Like I said, I don't have news to read.
I mean, just the fact that he's asking people to move into Russia doesn't mean he's winning. Now, they just had a third major bridge destroyed by the Ukrainians that was detrimental to the Russians for continuing to supply them with backup. Here, I want to show you this. Here's this to answer Jen's question. Okay. If I can do it, here it comes. Oh, come on. Share screen. Share screen. Why aren't I? Maybe I can't. Maybe. Maybe I can't. Can you allow me to share screen, Bubby?
Don't add another camera. It's
Well, it's not a camera. I'm going to show a video. Not video, but a picture.
Right, but in order for you to do that, you have to add another camera to the screen. And no, unfortunately, at the moment,
Chromebook can't handle
that. We can't do it. It will crash the Chromebook.
Okay, so hang on. Okay, so hang on.
There's no imported video or showing of pictures on a camera. The Chromebook cannot handle it in its present condition.
Excellent. Oh my gosh, because he's got more than one screen.
Okay, do you see it?
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
okay.
It's a robot dog.
But as far as Ukraine saying that they have gone into Russia and they have created all kinds of damage, are they showing pictures? And as much as I mean, anybody can say we flew over Russia, we dropped bombs, and we blew up the country. Just like they can say we flew over Ukraine and we dropped a bunch of bombs, and here's a picture of what we did.
Okay, so I dropped my camera. So hang on a second.
I still come back to the same point I've been at since Zelensky and Putin declared war on each other. That if Putin wanted this to end, it would have ended already. It wouldn't have gotten to all roads lead to Ukraine being blocked with Russian war apparatus that Putin said was only there because they ran out of gas. I don't believe for a second that they ran out of gas and one by one had to wait for Russian gas trucks to come bring them fuel. I think that Putin set his troops up on that road to block things going into Ukraine, to kind of put a stranglehold on Ukraine. I want to believe that if President Trump comes in November, gets elected in November, that by January 25th, when he sits down in the Oval Office, Putin, and Zelensky will have worked this thing out. If Kamala Harris takes over on January 25th with a Democrat super Congress, who knows?
Okay, so
let me finish. I think it would be very stupid for the Harris-Walz administration to think they're going to get into a nuclear war with Russia over Ukraine, because they won't win it. And that will be the nuclear Armageddon that we all seem to fear is coming, because Zelensky will fire on Russia, Russia will fire on Ukraine, North Korea is going to fire on Iran, Iran is going to fire on Israel, and by the time the radiation gets to the United States, we will already be dead. That's Armageddon.
Okay, so to go back to the first of your illustration, all the stuff that I share, okay, concerning the war, comes from Newsmax, comes from CNN, it comes from reliable resources. It's not something I pull out my ass, okay? So Ukraine just destroyed a third major bridge leaking Russia to Ukraine. So now the Russians are, soldiers in that area are now without any type of support. The Ukrainians just blew up a oil refinery costing $300 million in loss of fuel to Russia. They've destroyed dozens of their naval ships. It is said that they set fire themselves to the nuclear power plant to blame it on Russia. And just that right now, okay, everything is being shown. It may be one-sided, I agree. But the way it's looking, Putin is being pushed closer and closer to, if he wants to win this war, he has to nuke them. The United States and other countries are getting more involved with, supplying certain weapons and doing certain things that Russia, keeps, saying that there's a red line drawn. And if you cross that red line, it's going to, cause him to react against NATO or against the United States. all I'm saying is that, right now, it would appear that militarily, Ukraine has the upper hand with the loss of with the win on the Russia. Um, we'll have to wait and see. China has their ships are crossing the barriers, threatening United States naval vessels. So we got our navy there in the Chinese waters. You got North Korea's threatened to nuke Japan. That was in the news. It's just that we are closer and closer to World War III. The reason being is that our politics are coming to a close November the 4th, whether Trump gets in or Harris gets in. If Trump gets in, Ukraine knows their shit's in the fan because he's not going to support them with money or with military equipment. So that's why there's this huge push, and this is all written in the newscast. This is why Zelensky is pushing harder with his military might to push Russia back, because he knows that if Trump wins, and I don't think he will, but if Trump wins, he's going to lose his money and he's going to lose his access to weapons. Right now, the United States military itself has a loss of manpower, has loss of equipment because we're giving shit over to Ukraine all the time and Israel. So we are militarily again set back to be able to defend ourselves with the traditional weaponry. I'm not saying I want a nuclear war. I'm not saying I want World War III. I'm just saying that it's going to happen. Now, just so you know, just so you can be a happy note, I shared this the other day with who did I share this with? It was with you, Dave, about the Watchmen. I don't think Jen heard this, but a friend of mine, she got remarried, and he must think that I have concerns when it comes to my religious background and my religious beliefs and so forth. And he brought me this report that he did on his own research, and he must be a member of the Watchmen, okay? And the Watchmen are a group of men who somehow, by using the Bible and so forth, they're able to predict certain things. And they're saying October 22nd, the rapture is going to take place, and all this is going to be behind us. I got the...
But I mean, there you go with the rapture, and trying to give me a date, and I'm not discounting that you read it somewhere, and I'm not discounting that you read it from what you believe is a respectable source.
Oh no! I don't think it's respectable. Okay, I'm just saying.
We've been doing broadcasts for 5.5 years, and I'm 62 now, and I've been listening to all the other religions tell me for 62 years that we're going to come to a fiery end one of these days because the Bible says so. And a lot of these dates have gone by, and we're still here, and we're still doing
exactly.
You have Trump. Let me finish. You have Trump saying that he can settle this between Putin and Zelensky within an hour. So that means that if Trump can do it, and he said he's saying he can do it within an hour, it's all done. It can be all done, and it can be all done without anyone firing any nukes or the war getting any worse between the two of them. And so, I mean, the only reason that I can figure the Democrats want Harris to win is because Harris is going to go in and she's going to launch holy hell through the rest of the world wherever she can. And we also have to realize that, hey, Harris can say, I'm going to go in and invade this country. I'm going to nuke this country. I'm going to blow the hell out of this country. I'm going to blow them off the face of the earth. Remember, the president does not declare war.
Congress does.
Congress does. And even if it's a Democrat House, with a Democrat Speaker of the House, you have to figure that they're not what like the two guys in the tower have to put their keys in and turn them on together to launch a bomb. That just because Harris wants to take us into a geothermal nuclear war that's going to end the world, Congress is going to agree with her. But I mean, I don't know. And like I said, I'm not discounting where you read it or who you watch that said it. I will take a common view against news lately is news is all propaganda. It's whatever the network you're watching it on wants you to believe. And you keep watching them every day because you want to believe whatever it is they tell you. The real purpose of news, as far as TV and radio goes, was to bring something in that would attract a boatload of viewers to sell a boatload of advertising so that the station could make a quick $1 trillion in 2 hours of news. Because everybody was home watching TV. We're kind of doing the same thing. We're all talking about and prophesizing and doing whatever we think the news is. This is commentary, which to me is a little bit different than actually reporting the news. We're just saying, here's a news story and here's what we think about it. And maybe you might want to think the same about it, but think about it and tell us what you think. Anyway, we move along as we move along. But if it's gonna be a touchy subject on Russia and Ukraine and whether or not the war is going to end and who's going to do it and who's winning it, to be honest with you, we should just move on to something else, because to me it's the same thing as the Israel Hamas war. I can put blame on the people of Israel for the Hamas-Israel war because they elected Hamas as the majority party of the Israeli Knesset, which is the equivalent of their Congress. They voted all these people in. The majority of the voters in Israel voted these people in. So they had to figure that these people now running Israel are going to do the best they can to launch a war in Gaza until it's done. And Israel may go down with it. But anyway, Jen, what do you got to say? What do you think about it?
I just want to say that I'm very frustrated that Kamala's out there running things, and as well as, what she has to do in the White House and then on her campaign trail. And she's busy. So she's using the exact same script, just changing the place where she's at. And it was funny when Jesse Waters caught that. And he had two Kamalas up on the screen behind him. One of them was giving the same speech in Wisconsin that she was giving in Michigan. And at the very end, she said the same thing in unison. That and this state is the road to the White House, and everyone cheers. And I'm like, oh my God, I am so sick of hearing about the parties, the Democrats and the Republicans, and no policies. And so then what she does is she doesn't give policies. She's like making promises of things that she could have done 3.5 years ago when she was flying co-pilot with Joe Biden. And she's talking about the grocery stores price gouging. And I'm like, they are not price gouging. The prices are high because the drivers that deliver the food cannot afford the gas at the prices they used to afford it. What?
But America is a capitalistic country. Mm-hmm. Business is capitalist. They went into business to make money. So the point is that, take 4 grocery stores or 4 gas stations and put them on the same in the same intersection, one on each corner. They can all sell gas for whatever they want. One day they can sell gas for $12 a gallon. The next day, they're going to realize they didn't sell any gas the day before. So one of them's going to drop the price of gas to $11.50. Another one might drop it to $11.25. The next one might drop it to $11. They're going to realize they're not going to sell in gas. They're going to keep bringing it down to get the maximum amount of money. To me, we're well beyond the oil companies saying to us it only costs us a nickel to make a gallon of gas. It would only cost you nickels to make a gallon of gas. My father's pricing gouging was cost plus 100% or 150% if you could get it. So that 5-cent gallon of gas should be about 20 cents.
She is suffocating. She's suffocating us. The only thing she can do that would be amazing and let the free market thrive would be to get rid of the regulations on gas, build the pipeline, and let us do what we were doing before they came in and made us stop. It's their regulation. That is what's raising the taxes. It's not price gouging. It's what we have to pay to live because of their freaking regulations and taxes and big government. Those three things would solve all the problems. Small government, lower taxes, and less regulations. They regulate everything. It's getting ridiculous.
Teresa Lynn Blanks Nestor, who's new to watching the broadcast, says they knew what they were doing when they closed the pipeline. Trickle-down effect. Gas prices went through the roof. Then everything follows. They shut down the pipeline. You're right. They absolutely should not have ever shut down the pipeline. They put 52,000 people out of work by shutting down the pipeline. There was absolutely no reason to shut down the pipeline. You can call it whatever you want. Oil shale, fracking results. Canada was going to take a bunch of whatever they dug up and put it in that pipeline and truck it down to the Texas refineries, and they were going to make gas. I believe some of that gas was going to go right back through the pipeline to Canada to help bring down the price of gas in Canada, and a boatload of it was going to go around the country to our gas pumps and bring down the price here. Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank fame says that he is floating the idea to build a refinery in the United States, form a syndicate of wealthy people who are ready to build and buy. I don't know how long it will take them to do it, but build a refinery, and it will shut down. I mean, it will bring down once it's online. But even President Trump is saying now our biggest mistake is we need to just drill. Everywhere we have a rig pumping oil out of the ground, we should have them going. And on land where we can put more on, we should be putting more on. And we should just keep. You have to remember, going back to the Trump administration, we were energy efficient. We're only dependent on ourselves, which have this God-given sustainable amount of oil that will be here forever. We were selling it around the world. We were selling it for less than OPEC was. We were the number one oil exporter on the face of the earth. Nobody was complaining about the price they were buying United States oil for. So, close the pipeline, stop the drilling, plunge us into economic darkness. Joe Biden in a demented state walks around saying, and I'm bringing prices down, and I'm bringing gas prices down. The biggest thing that gets me going on him is that recently he either made a speech or did something where he again claimed that he is responsible for bringing down the price of 10 major pharmaceuticals through Medicare. No, he had absolutely nothing to do with it. Medicare has a price with all the pharmaceutical companies on everything they need to buy. And it's lower than retail. It's lower than what most business pharmacies buy it from. And that's what it is. Also, routinely, Medicare takes a prescription that you have to pay for, and drops it a tier, which lowers the price, or puts it in the free tier, and you don't pay anything for it. And in this case, that's what happened. So it wasn't Biden saying, I did this. It goes back to Trump saying, I'm working on this and I'm doing it as fast as I can. Unfortunately, in his 4 years, it didn't happen. He got the ball rolling. He got it started. He started it going. If Biden wants to take the credit that it happened during the Biden administration, yeah. But hey, it was planned long before he became president. Anyway.
I heard he took a lot of money out of the budget and put it into the healthcare to make it appear as though, which he did. That was good. But that's the other thing that drives me crazy, is that there is no government money. They don't take our taxes and invest it and grow it. No, they just raise our taxes and take our money. And I just wanted to quote the words from, oh, come on, the guy, Rand Paul, when he said, don't pay taxes. They can't go after all of us. And I loved that. What if we all stopped paying taxes? The government wouldn't have any money.
Well,
somebody would get arrested.
This is what I don't understand. We pay taxes to the federal government. But we have some states that don't charge income tax. You don't pay income tax to that state. And those states seem to be doing quite well. So,
right.
It's like Bill Muckler kept saying the other day. The federal government charges taxes because the federal government has to collect money because the federal government doesn't have a product that they can sell. They only have policies that they have to fund, so they charge taxes to fund the policies. He said there are something like 2,100 government-funded programs funded right now that most of them could be eliminated because they're outdated and we just don't need them anymore. Nancy Pelosi said one better a long time ago. She said we can give $1 trillion a year to a fund to figure out why Kleenex makes white Kleenex with pink polka dots on the bottom side. We may never figure it out, and we may stop doing any investigation, any research to try to figure it out. But she said once we give money to a program, to fund a program, we can't take it back. So they just keep moving it around. So those 2,100 programs are why we're in such a mess. But my point was that if states aren't charging federal income tax and they're doing as well as can be expected right now, why is the federal government collecting? The federal government is collecting. The IRS was created to pay back war debt long before any of us were born, some of which may have been paid off or is never going to be paid off. It was never ours to pay for anyway. But go ahead, Randy.
But I have really too much to say. The whole idea of, a budget is that you bring money in, just like a checking account, a personal checking account. You get paid for your job. I take that check and I deposit it to my checking account. From the checking account, I pay my bills. Electric, water, sewer, trash, whatever. Okay, and then whatever's left over is my money to spend on niceties for myself or my family, or just to keep there and keep it safe for should the water heater break down or a roof leak or some emergency, just keep the money there. And the Republicans have that same for most part. The Republicans have that same mentality. Ronald Reagan is very big about a budget for the government. But the Democrats, for whatever stupid-ass reasons, think that they can spend the money as fast as they want on the most stupidest of shit because they can tell the IRS to print money, get out the paper, get out the ink, and we need, $1 trillion printed out, and we just, sort out the money to where it goes. At some point, it has to get paid back. if the countries that we owe money to, for whatever reason, decide today, you know what? It's been 10 years. They haven't paid me shit on my loan. I'm going to close the loan out and demand that they give me what the collateral was. Because these countries have to have some type of collateral on our country in order to give us money, okay? They get, if we default on the loan, they get something in return. Whether it be a statue, a mountain, a million acres of land, or whatever, that's their collateral. I don't know what these Democrats, are thinking about the money. Obviously, they're not. They don't care because as long as they're in control, they're going to do what the hell they want. It's like when I did my broadcast last Sunday. The United States government, for whatever reason, saw 24 million acres of land that these Indians had for themselves, and the United States government wanted it. So they, made a deal for $1.5 million to be paid to the Indians. Well, they never paid the bill. They never gave them the money. So our government has been doing this since the day it's been created. They're just, and I can't speak for other countries. I'm sure probably other countries are doing the same thing. But at some point, the whole system's going to collapse. And who's going to feel the brunt of it? The people like us. But if we don't have the money in the bank, we don't have the gold bricks that we've been storing up in our vault somewhere. We don't have all that stuff like they have, and we're going to be the ones that are going to be eating each other because we have no food.
Okay. Personally, I hope God hits the Staples easy button long before we start eating ourselves. But I don't know. I don't know what the answer is anymore. We have to make some tough decisions, regardless of who is in the White House. We have to make some tough decisions. Yeah, you shouldn't be paying $20 for a dozen eggs. You shouldn't be paying $50 for a gallon of gas. You shouldn't be paying, pick anything. You shouldn't be paying that price. You can't expect the government to pay back your student loan. No. You shouldn't. We can't expect the government can't expect the taxpayers to foot the bill for 50 million illegal immigrants that are in this country to vote on November 5th and I don't know what on November 6th, other than maybe catch a plane and leave if Trump wins.
And go to Russia? No, I'm kidding. Because don't go to Russia.
I put that on a post yesterday.
No,
I put that on a post. I put that on a comment on a post yesterday that maybe that's what we should do. We should pack up the 50 million illegal immigrants in this country right now and send them to Russia.
That would be beautiful. If he need more people,
if he wants to support them, great. If he wants to put them in jail and work them to death, hey, that's on them. They're here illegally. We can't afford to put them in jail and support them.
Right. The most frustrating thing that you're talking about is a blatant disregard for our Constitution.
Right.
Article 4, Section 4 says that the government will protect against an invasion. So what do? They change the words. You cannot change. And that's another thing. It's going to be the crown jewel on his presidency. That him and Kamala changed the 9th Amendment. No, they didn't. We have been trying to do convention of states forever. And it's just to change an amendment. What we want to do is give them term limits for the people in Congress. The president has it. The governments do. But Pelosi and Feinstein, all those people, they've been there since they were 20. I don't know, but they're old. They get in this position and they die there. It's horrible. They're not justices. But
what I don't understand is Florida. Say Florida wants to put in term limits so that you can only be governor for 4 times. Mm-hmm. When DeSantis has served his his fourth term, he's done. Same thing, you can put it in there for your Congress people or any other state office that you want. If people really wanted to do it, they would have done it already. We wouldn't have to wait to amend the right. But 2/3 majority of the state legislature can decide whether or not they want to put in term limits. And
all we want is
and that's never going to happen, only because the states, you can't ask Congress on the federal level to assign term limits to themselves. They're never going to do it.
Oh, they're not going. No. We need 2/3 majority of the 50 states. If we can get 2/3 majority, all we want is a date to go to Congress, and we have everything set up. The COS people, the conventions of states, they have everything set up. We're not asking Congress, okay, give yourself term limits. No, we're saying, hey, we got 2/3 majority of this country behind us. We're going to amend this, and you are not staying in here for life. Sorry, this is the new law. It's like a new sheriff coming into town. This thing is so very well prepared. It's not like we're going to get this appointment and then think, what are we going to do with this? I don't know. We finally got our date with Congress. No, they've got everything mapped out. We need term limits, and they're going to do this, and this is the plan. But it is so hard to get 2/3 majority of the states.
And how long have we been trying? We're like 250 years old. How long in our 250 years have we been doing this for 249 years, and we haven't figured out how to do it yet? And then you got to take into effect that evidently everybody says Constitution. There's like 3 different constitutions that if you ask one person, we're on this Constitution. If you ask this person, we're on the Washington, D.C. dead corpse or the Democrat Corporation Constitution. We're on the Maritime Constitution. We're on this Constitution.
Only one. We're
on the Genealogy Constitution.
No, that's touchy. Don't touch that. But
Randy Rhodes doesn't have term limits. It's a job for life.
No, this whole thing is set up. We just need 2/3 majority of the states to do this. And we're close, but we're not there. So someday, well, do you know when the first time I heard about this was as soon as Barack Obama became president. And it's like history repeating itself. Like Kamala. We're like, where's she from? What did she do? I was doing radio shows with J.J. McCartney at that time. And it was funny because we were saying we know more about Bart Simpson than we know about Barack Obama. And it's the same with Kamala. Everything I'm learning about her is not good. And I'm thinking, why do people want her? Do they know they're going to be paying out the nose? She's going to imprison people more than she already is. And Biden was the one who said he was going to put us back in chains. And she's the henchman who's like making every new restriction, regulation, new tax laws. It's insane. We are not a free country if we choose her. And the people I know are not choosing her. That's the last thing I wanted to say about the polls. We did a show earlier today. It was on the Patriot Lab. He did a show, and there was Hillary Clinton speaking at the DNC, and it was a slap in the face to democracy as well as to herself. Basically, she was up there saying, I was cheated out of, everyone's cheering, everyone loves her, but basically, I'm thinking you were cheated. She thinks she was cheated out of her presidency. At the same time, the same thing is happening with Kamala as far as the polls go. The polls looked so high for Hillary, and she was so excited, and she thought she was going to win, and she didn't. And right now, the polls look so high, even on Fox News, for Kamala. But if you go to Rasputin.com, those are legit polls. The ones you see on the fake news, which unfortunately, Fox is becoming one of the fake newses, they're manipulated. You go to Rasputin, or not. She's high, but she's not as high as she is beating Trump. So these are all, they're just lying to us, and manipulating stuff.
Okay. So look, unfortunately, those of us on the right have lost control of our government. We lost control of our media. We lost control of our judicial system. We lost control of our police departments and everything and anything and everything. We on the right have lost control of it. We have lost the ability to depend on them. Okay. I'm seeing videos, live videos of shit happening in the streets. You got the rioting going on. You got the punks out there looting stores and on. I can do a list. And the police officers are sitting there, for the most part, in their cars, are standing on the street, watching it, allowing it to happen, because they know it makes absolutely no sense to get in there, get hurt, possibly get injured, possibly get killed, to make an arrest when the left-wing judicial system's going to release them anyways. I mean, look at the illegals. They come here because they're criminals in their own country. They've been arrested here in our country. They're taken back to their own country. They come back to our country. They get arrested again. They go back to their country. And third and fourth time, and then they rape and murder our young women. And they get deported back, and they come back in our country again. We have no control of it. Why? Because the Democrats want our country in turmoil so they can appear to be the savior that comes to our rescue when they do something, whatever it might be. Look at the poor guys up in the damn Skylab, right? How many months have they been sitting there waiting for a ship to arrive that can take them out of there? We can't get that straight because we're not working together. It's not going to happen. We're sitting back hoping that the world's going to change. Prices are going to drop. The police will make arrests. They're going to actually stick. Bad guys are going to go to jail or get hung or get whatever, shot in the needle. And we're going to go back to, watching good TV. We're going to have to watch and worry about, the stupid stuff that comes on. I mean, Disney. Look at Disney. Disney took. I was watching a show, whether I don't know who it was. It was a midget, a dwarf, a small person, and two people, and they're talking about Disney's The Seven Dwarfs. Okay, Disney took out the damn dwarfs because they thought it was they thought that it was ridiculing small people. They left one in, and they called him a magical creature. So not being referred to as a dwarf like the original cartoon. Folks, this is the world we have. All we can do is survive, and try and leave something to our family to live with. But keep in mind. It's not going to get better. It really is not going to get better. If you want to bring the Bible into it, because it's not supposed to get better. The Bible says it's supposed to get worse. Okay, and worse and worse and worse and worse to the end. So for those of you who believe, that's why we're experiencing what we're experiencing, and it's getting time for that end to come. There you go.
Wow.
Okay, I'm trying to send a link to William Rayfield, and I tried to send it to you manually, William, and I can't do it, so I don't know what the error is, but it's not letting me do it. Yes, that was the link. I checked to make sure that was that was the link. But for some strange reason, it does not want to open. I will put the link on the screen. I'll put the link on the screen in the chat group, William, and you can try it from there and see if it lets you in. Give me just a minute.
You want the light on?
No.
No?
You just roasting in here, then no. Okay. All right. StreamYard.com. I hate this. I apologize for that, for you hearing me say. Okay. William, I sent you that link. I typed that link in by hand. If it won't let you do it, what I'm going to try to do is give you the link in the live chat, and you can take it and go. You can take it and see if it will let you use it.
Oh, Randy, it was so bad last time. What's he going to do? He gives a live link in the chat, and a stranger came on. Oh, it was terrible.
Randy,
bad. Wish you were there. Randy would have gone rebel on this guy. It was bad.
You should have.
Yeah, where were you, Randy?
Then you just let him go as fast as you let him in.
Right.
Let me see if we got this. Okay. That is the link in the live chat, William. If you want to try it and you can come in, then great. If not, I apologize. I don't know what's going on. We are using a Chromebook that is not supported anymore, but it works 100% with StreamYard, and lately links don't work, or I can't send people links, and I don't know if that's StreamYard. I don't know if that's Facebook. I don't know if that's the internet. That's all I can tell you. That is the link. Wait a minute. No. The link didn't go to where it was supposed to go. Wait a minute. Hold on. This is all screwed up here. Let me try it one more time. Okay. Guys, talk for a second while I try to get this typed into the screen. This is why one of these days we're going to have to start monetizing these broadcasts so that I can have the equipment that we need.
If you can get on TikTok.
I'm not doing it on TikTok.
It's monetized.
I'm just not doing it on TikTok. I have ultimate respect for anyone who does it on TikTok. Unfortunately, I'm not doing it.
Because
I'm not doing it on TikTok. I'm not doing it on TikTok, but I'm not doing it on TikTok only because my intention is not to monetize the broadcast. My intention is to do this the way we do it with the equipment that we have and make it work.
To bring awareness
for what we do, and then to sprinkle awareness, and little by little we will replace the equipment that we have. And William is there. Let me see if I can get him brought in now.
Randy, it's terrible. I started buying clothes on Temu, and everyone's supposed to avoid Temu, so you're not giving money to China. But no matter where you go, nothing is made in America. It was so frustrating. And so for my son's wedding, that was Michael Anthony. For my son's wedding, they got all of their wedding clothes through Temu. Beautiful clothes. They're all sized so small, but we could afford it. We're helping
Michael Anthony
with his wedding because even though he's our son, his wife, my daughter-to-be, escaped from a cult religion, Jehovah's Witnessism. And they don't want anything to do with this. And I thought, oh my God. So actually Tim and Shelby are doing a lot of things to raise their own money, and they're making this very affordable. They're having it in our backyard. So I'm honored. I don't know where all the cards are.
Well, it's called hey, Mom, Dad, we're going to get married. We're going down to the courthouse, Yeah. Okay, look. The whole idea of a wedding that costs buku bucks, fancy clothes, fancy dresses, flowers, the big dinner, all that, the camera lady, that's just monopolizing of a ceremony like the Easter Bunny and Halloween. It's all the way for someone to make money. Back in the day, they just they went to the preacher married them. They maybe went into a church or in the backyard. But and people brought food from the families brought their own food and they sat down and had a good old time. Now I did see something weird, and I can't. I probably should have wrote it down when I was doing my one client's ancestor. He actually paid $1,000 to get married to this one woman. And I thought, wow, she better be worth it.
Wow, was she pretty? What?
Oh, I don't. There was no.
Why?
Okay. There was no photographs.
All right. Okay, everybody stop for a second. Michael, turn your microphone on and let us know if we can hear you and you can hear us.
Mike.
Hi, Michael. I hear him.
All right, Michael
Hi.
Anthony. Okay.
Hello, everyone.
All right. I'm having trouble adding William to the stage. I don't know what is going on. But Michael, tell us what you have to say about tonight's shenanigans.
You hear me?
Yes, I heard him. Now he's gone.
Dave, you're taking me in and out of your screen.
It's not letting me add Ray to the...
He won't. It can't stick.
Oh. I might be better off leaving because, this happens on every show I go on.
No, it's not you, Michael. It's
Oh, you'd be really surprised.
it's the machine.
It's not you, Michael. It's his equipment.
Well, of course he's gonna, and I know he's having issues, but when it happens 3 times in one day, 2 times in a day, or almost every time you go live, it starts to get very weird.
Okay. I mean, does this problem occur with other people who try to get on their shows or just Dave's?
No, it only happens when I'm going into other shows where I'm invited as a guest.
Oh.
I'm the only one that's getting booted out. You're okay, Mike.
That's not exactly true. I've been going through it for days with Dave getting on the show and coming in and out. But nevertheless, that's not the topic of subject. The convention of the states was, and that's always interesting. And I wish we could gain more strength there. I truly do. So much was said, a lot of good points. Dave, you were like, you're on with the bull, and I'm here with your voice. I mean, you were really strong tonight. You put a lot of really great information, and I'm not just saying I'm not kissing nobody's ass. You really were on. Dementia is you're cured.
No.
When you need it, you got it. That's all I can say.
That's good.
But everybody had credible things to say. I disagree with the Russia and Ukraine system because we're in a system of ownership of propaganda and media manipulation, and unless one goes there, walks the ground, witnesses the actual shots that are occurring, we got nothing. And it's not a topic that we should. I just don't feel like it's easily to be able to have a good discussion on. Otherwise, it's theoretically put out there, and A&I technologies are taking care of that, the same as what you guys brought up earlier about when you see Carmela being in 2 places at one time. It's things are created, but our government, most important, I think, that, struck me was, our government. Has it ever really been a government? I mean, think about it. As far back as you can go, our country used to run off and support itself. It's building of America, and its success came from tariffs. And then suddenly all this other tax structure. Well, that was the manipulation of the money, and it all came on, federal taxations and so forth, like with jobs and so forth, because you're by doing this voluntarily, it was for war effort. And of course, if they come back and after, your family members died, fighting, they came back with patriotism to say, hey, we won the war. And then people forgot the fact and they believed the fact. And I think that's what happens with the government. It's been two-sided forever. And they will tell you what we need to hear. but they will always go in the other direction. And that's why I put that up on the screen. And that's really the scenario of what we're fighting. If you go back 40, 50 years ago when Donald Trump used to go on shows and talk about America, I mean, he knew back then the corruption that existed. Ronald Reagan spoke of it. Randy mentioned that. JFK mentioned things. We've had good people there, but fighting a battle of a cult, of a power, of a source that came to America. And this was laid out so long ago, but they took the baby steps to conquer us, and they have in many ways. Not just by shutting down a pipeline and losing 52,000 jobs, but they are, in fact, part of the case scenario of what's wrong. And if fuel prices are high, everybody's prices are higher. That does affect the economy. And creating electric cars is not going to cure it because something has to run these places, and it all starts from minerals. And, it takes you into that aspect. But again, just some of the things that I was interjecting to what you guys were talking about, and I just can only say to you that we've been manipulated for a very long time, and cash that makes people rich makes people do things. And sometimes it's worse than that. But here we are, there's a lot of diversities of thought and opinions. And I think everybody's, trying to do their best. It's just how do we avoid this case scenario that we're dealing with is to keep hope and keep faith. I don't like to see us right now in a time of a do or die scenario where we have the possibility of getting our country back with a more positive leadership. And those examples were set out. I mean, they were. And we saw the wrong and we saw the rights. And the minute we had somebody in with substance that would fight for America, you saw the other side of the government at work. And they come out of the shadows and say, we are this. We do this. And we will continue to do this. And we're not going to stop. And we're not going to stop. And we're not going to stop. And that was Ms. Harris herself, letting us know that they're not going to stop. Because if she gets in as president, she will, with the swipe of a pen, have the control. We cannot tolerate 4 more years. I mean, the social anxieties that people are suffering through, it's just immense and it's disgusting. And, for anybody to say, and this time is so important for our history books, to logically think out of the box and think that we cannot take this in our strength and numbers that we have, needs to rethink. Needs to sit back in a chair and say to themselves, there's something wrong here, and how they direct the scenario of wrong is to direct the scenario of what is right. And if you believe in all that's good and all that's right, things will be better. And we have to keep that positivity, because otherwise, we're creating a scenario that could interject into people that could make them say, I'm just not even going to care anymore. So we have to be very careful, of things. And again, I think everybody's been a rock star tonight. You've all had good things. I'm going to keep quiet, let Raymond come in if he's still here. And Dave, good work. I think really you brought up a really good, a lot of good technical information that we know is factual.
Thank you. Every once in a while, we get it right here on Boogie with the Bull, and I'm glad.
That's good.
I'm glad you feel that way, Michael. I want everybody to know that I have a lot of respect for Michael Anthony. I know he doesn't like to hear praise, but I have a lot of respect for him, because when I was doing this by myself, Michael came on and we started having a lot of good broadcasts, and then we brought Randy in and we brought Jen in, and
Thanks.
I think right now the only problem is that we're pushing the Chromebook to be able to do 4 people on. With StreamYard we should be able to do 8, but we're pushing the Chromebook, and we may have to start doing some monetization to to fix that, but we'll talk about that later. Anyway, let's keep the topic going. Hey, Ronald Farrell Jr. Ronald Farrell Jr. Melinda brought you. Melinda Brown Fortney brought you on to watching. I'm glad that you're watching. And one of these days, we want to get you on. Eric Leon Barton, my buddy. We've been admins together on Facebook for a very long time. And I'm glad to see you watching. Everybody remember, Eric loves you. And if you ever want to see a good broadcast, watch Eric whenever he is on. Eric Leon Barton. So become his friend and then watch his videos whenever he's on. Some of them are just so Eric that you can't stop laughing, and some of them are just so spot on that you're crying when Eric is crying. And Eric's
his dog on there.
Yep. And Eric is a true hardcore conservative. I'm gonna, excuse my English, I'm gonna fucking change America regardless of how it took. He ran for mayor of Armona, California,
awesome.
A small town in Southern California. I want to say it's near Bakersfield, but I'm not sure. Eric can probably tell us. And he's just a funny guy to have on. He is the group owner of Americans for Free Speech. So if you see that group, join it. Jen's an admin in there. I used to be an admin in it a long time ago. Things just got so crazy that I don't know what's going on with me and admins lately. I log on to Facebook every other day, and there's like 3 invites to be admins in groups. I accept them. Then someone sends me an invitation to a group. So I go there looking. I'm already in the group, and I'm an admin. But anyway, folks, pay attention to Eric when he's on. And we're going to get this all figured out. We're going to keep doing the broadcast as best as we can. We'll get everybody on, get it up, and run it as good as it can, as soon as it can. New studios coming in October. A lot of new equipment is going to be added in October. Unfortunately, that's the earliest we're going to be able to do it. But anyway, Jen, the homeschooling mom Woodruff, is with us today, and we're talking about the term limits as to how long Ford should sell a 4-speed Crown Vic. Randy.
Oh, Dave, he got it back.
He got it back? Is it running?
Sometimes.
Oh, God. You should shoot a video of him driving it.
They switched the transmission. It's cool. They switched the transmission from automatic to manual, but the cord that goes from the transmission to the clutch, it keeps it.
The clutch can't.
It's terrible. We have it hung up with hangers. We keep working on it as much as we can. Yeah, it was so exciting, and then it was like
I want to see him. I want to see him do it, just because
cool.
I've never heard of anyone ever wanting to do it to a Crown Vic. I mean, like I said before, the car is built to be incredibly light. The doors are hollow. The doors are hollow, and it's just built to be lightweight because lightweight cars go fast. That's why you see a Crown Vic Cruiser at the top of the on-ramp just fly right out, because it takes that whole on-ramp to get the car up to 65 miles an hour, so that when you get to the top of the ramp and you go on, you go flying. Once you get above 65 miles an hour, there's no stopping that car.
Right.
But anyway, Randy Rhodes.
Crazy.
Randy Rhodes, say something. Don't just say something.
God, what is there left to really talk about? I mean, we've talked religion, we talked politics. There's one thing that we don't really sometimes talk about too much here, and that's just that's a dead subject right there. The subject of family. We don't talk too much about family. We talk about politics and how bad things are, and the grim outlook on the future. But back when we were kids, and maybe because I'm just getting damn old and closer to the grave, I don't know. But I look back at the way things were when I was a kid, and I'd come home on the school bus and run into the house and throw my shit on the sofa, and I'd go grab something to eat, and then I run upstairs and get on the phone and talk to my girlfriends. Plural, yes. And until they found out about each other. But and that's a true story too. You watch TV together as a family. You sit down and have dinner as a family. You go outside and you work in the yard. Mowing grass, pulling weeds. Picking up trash as a family. You did everything as a family unit. And today it's like, what happened to it? You don't eat dinner together. You don't have family time. You don't sit and watch TV. Well, TV is not worth watching anymore. You don't have your family picnics. You've all gone. Your one kid's might be in the room, with a headset on playing video games, and another one's in a room doing fingernail and toenail painting, or talking to the girlfriends like, oh, did you know? Can you come? Oh, I know. Oh, he's so. Oh, did you see him? Oh, yeah. But we don't. We're not a family unit, and that's exactly what the Democrats want. They want to rip apart the family, and they want to become the parents. They want the children to be able to come to them to get whatever they want, and that's why the Democrats do not have any form of punishment for the children who are acting out. I mean, when I did something wrong, I got whooped. Did I do it again? No, because why? I learned a lesson.
They don't want you to do that because they want to come to your school when you're too old to mention and tell you that you want to be something different, so that by the time you get to our age, you're completely different and you didn't have children. You didn't bring any more children.
Right. I want castrated. That's so
well,
sad.
not even necessarily that. Just you can't. Well, my fear is that in the future they'll just, when you're pregnant, they'll just come and take it from you. Because if you watch these things on YouTube, and none of them are probably true, but if you watch them on YouTube, there's these mass assembly lines of 50, 60,000 AIs standing there just waiting to do whatever we used to do. And you don't have to pay them. You don't have to feed them. You don't have to buy them houses. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's the complete breakdown. If it's true, and I want to believe that what they're saying is true because this is what they want us to believe, it is the complete breakdown of the United States of America as we know it. We won't be a third world nation like the rest of the world. We'd be a fourth world nation because everybody will be above us. It's very scary, Ronald. And but like I said, one of these days I want to get you on the broadcast when we figure out a way to have four. If we figure out a way to have three. We'll try to do it. I spent a long time on the phone with someone from Google doing as much stuff on this to update performance as I could, and then we just couldn't get any further, and we're just pushing it to our limits. But anyway, we always have a good time on Boogie with the Bull. The technical mishaps, meltdowns, seizures, whatever you want to call them, are thrown in for the price of admission. And we just keep doing it until we can't do it anymore. And then we wake up and do it again.
That's good.
Well, could you use my equipment and broadcast out as a Boogie the Bull?
we could do it, but I don't. We can, but I'll talk to you off because there are ways we can do it that I want to do it. Is that you would give me access to your StreamYard so that it is set up as a Boogie with the Bull broadcast. But I don't. We'll have to talk about that. I don't really want to do that. I like having the operation running out of here. It's just a matter of figure out what I'm going to do with the Chromebook as soon as I can do something with it. But anyway, let's get back to the program. We don't have to bore people with details that we cry about every time we come on. So what do you think, Jen?
I just wanted to say, as the media is calling this the honeymoon phase, because we're supposed to be so enamored by Kamala, I wanted to say it feels more like the blind date from hell, and we have to stick to our guns and say we want lower taxes, less regulation, and smaller government. And none of our policies are offering that. That's why it feels like the blind date from somewhere bad. Because this is horrible. Everything she's saying she's going to fight for. Is there an Indian around? I hear drum.
I don't know.
Sorry, that's me.
Did any of you hear that President Trump invited Mrs. Willie Brown?
Yes, I can't wait
to the debate. I hope she gets a chance to speak to the moderators or after and shares exactly what she feels about the lady who wants to be president who had an affair with her husband.
The blind date from hell, yeah.
And as far as people wanting to question whether or not she is a citizen because her parents are not citizens, from what I understand, according to the rules of how an anchor baby works, is that illegals come here and have a baby. The baby, because it is born here, becomes an American citizen. It may also have dual citizenship where its parents were born from. That I don't really know. But the anchor baby itself, a long time ago,
is a citizen.
Became a citizen. Well, it was a citizen because they were born here, and because of that, the baby's parents, I don't know if they became citizens or honorary citizens or whatever, but they were allowed to stay here, of course, because their baby was a citizen. And
that's why the Chinese won't come over and have their babies.
Well, but also, you don't hear President Trump spending much time on this because I think he kind of learned in chasing the Obama birth certificate that not really everybody cared about whether or not he had a birth certificate, whether or not he was an American citizen. He was done as president. He wasn't going to be president anymore. I've always said the same kind of thing. If we found out that Obama wasn't born here, proved it beyond the shadow of a doubt, or he even admitted that he wasn't born here, that would mean that his 8 years as president were 100% illegal. Would we have to go back and change everything that he did in his 8 years as president because he didn't have the authority to be president? So,
I don't think you can't go back. You're right.
You can't go back. So all you can do really is learn from it and move ahead. So it's not really trying to prove that Kamala Harris isn't a citizen of the United States because her parents weren't a citizen of the United States. And if Donald Trump brings that up, I can imagine that I will yell so loud at our TV set that Donald will actually take the brick next to the bed, hit me in the head with it, because
the TV.
It really doesn't mean anything at this point.
That ship has sailed. Yeah,
right,
you're right.
The ship has sailed. What we need to do is stop the coronation of the Queen, who is going to not make this place any better than where it is. And I'm so scared because you hear every day they're going to come and they're going to knock on your doors and they're going to take you away. my biggest fear is that they will come knock on my door and say, you have dementia, and you have Parkinson's, and you have this, and you have that, and we just need to take you somewhere where we can take care of you until this is all figured out. Yeah, I've joked with Michael Anthony a lot that the fear is that they're going to come knock on the door. They're going to be really nice to me. They're going to take me. They're going to sit me down in this beautiful studio that is better than anything I've ever seen. And then they're going to come in and go, hey, Dave, take this. This little pill is meals. It's time for a meal. Take this little pill. You'll love it. It's the best steak you've ever had. And I'll take
balance of nature.
And then I'll sit down and I'll play with. They may even be able to go back and find broadcasters that from my career that aren't even alive anymore. Guys that owned the radio stations that I worked at, and sit me down with them and say, hey, we're going to teach you how to do it all over again. And sooner or later, one day, I'll be here. Hey, it's Dementia Dave with Democrat, with Love Thy Democrat, and Boogie with the Democrat.
You're in a red state. You're fine. You're in a red state. I'm in a red state. Pennsylvania. That's what I'm worried about.
Pennsylvania. Yeah, I'm scared that they're going to take my friend Randy. Well, I'm scared they're going to take my friend Randy. I'm scared they're going to take my friend Michael, who's got property, who's got investments in Philadelphia. They're going to take it away from him and trash us. And the biggest scheme I see on Facebook lately is this Bitcoin ad that claims President Trump wants to start a Bitcoin fund, and it's got a picture of Trump. And I really wish this would be the one time that President Trump would contact me and say, yeah, it's really true. This is what I want to do.
I don't think it's a fake ad. I think he really is into Bitcoin. And,
most people don't understand. Most people can't afford a Bitcoin. Last time I heard it was $65,000.
No, that's why they're going to cryptocurrency. That's what my kids are doing.
But I mean, a Bitcoin is $65,000. I heard it went as high as $76,000 once, which was why Elon Musk, for a time, was only taking Bitcoins to buy a Tesla.
Right. Did you see the chat between Elon
No,
Musk?
I missed it, and so many people kept telling me, make sure you watch it. We'll remind you to watch it. And
no one could get on.
And then I missed it. My son would have watched it. I thought he was going to watch it, and then I thought maybe he'd send it to me, but he didn't have any interest in watching it. He's a more hardcore, I swear, hardcore conservative than I am, and so a lot of these things that we talk about, or these things that are out there, he doesn't waste any time on it. So he'll send me some serious stuff, but no, he didn't watch it. But like I said, everybody I know kept asking me, "Are you going to watch it?" Or they remind me the next morning, "Did you watch it?" And no. And I've even said that, I've talked to Michael lately because he's really helping me get some ideas out of my head and onto the broadcasts. But yeah, there aren't enough hours in the day really to plan the broadcasts that we do, try to coordinate everybody that I want to get on, make sure everybody has some idea of what they're going to do when they come on, deal with all the groups. And I love being an admin. I love being an admin. I mean, I became a group owner the same week I joined Facebook. I became a group owner and became a page owner and a group owner. And, that to me, that's what it was all about. But there are so many now. And I love all of the groups that invite me to be an admin. I really do. And I even love the groups that invite me to be an admin and then boot me because I'm the only admin who does stuff. But
the takeaway,
just not enough hours in the day.
Is Mike still here, or did he drop out?
No, he had
so
to
William
be,
could come back.
he dropped out hoping that William would be able to log in. But I think the magic number is 3.
Okay, can I just say the
You can say
best
anything you want, Jen.
Thank you. The best takeaway from the Elon Musk and Donald Trump chat, I don't know what it was. It wasn't a debate. It was just a chat. Is when Elon suggested that we develop when Trump gets elected, that he develops a commission. It's called the GEC, the Government Efficiency Commission, because Elon is all about cutting the fat. As soon as he got on, bought Twitter, he fired how many people? It was crazy.
A lot.
Yeah, it was like a third.
And
But yeah, and I thought that would be fantastic to have a government efficiency commission. They could get rid of a lot of fat and hopefully put more money into things like infrastructure, balance the grocery bill, give it to the pharmaceuticals for healthcare. But what we're doing is ridiculous. And what's so frustrating, like I said before, it's not their money, it's our money. And we pay it in income tax. And that is frustrating. And then you get that little, be kind, the woman, Kamala, as she's running, she's so excited about on her first day, she is going to stop the gouging. She's going to do all these things. And we're like, drill, baby, drill. Just go back to the way it was. She doesn't have to change it.
Well, the problem with that whole thing is, on my first day, you can do that now. What's keeping you from doing that now? You got Congress, you got the presidency, you got all of three alpha. What is keeping you from closing down the walls on the border? What's keeping you from doing everything that you're making promises now to do as first day president?
Right.
What's doing it is you don't want to make your boss look stupid.
Well, I've been starting to think that because I've been hearing lately that supposedly Biden is going to step down sometime in October.
Yeah, he's going to step down.
So that, well, you know what? Maybe he will, because the way I've been hearing it is that he thinks that she will have a better chance running as the incumbent president. And I hope that people see that for what it is. If he steps down and doesn't finish the term and she runs as the incumbent president, that pushed out the incumbent president so that she could run as the incumbent president, she should be gone. And I actually said in a post somewhere here on Facebook that if it happens, Joe Biden should be nailed for election interference, because he wouldn't step down if he thought it would help her. If he stepped down because he thought it would help her, that's election interference. I personally think he should finish his term and get the cuffs put on him and take it away, and not necessarily take him to the justice tree, but tried somewhere and sent away. The lady that bothers me the most when she is talking to Congress is Janet Yellen, our illustrious Treasury Secretary. Oh. She will sit down, and you watch her and Joe Kennedy, the senator in the House right now. He must be hit every day because he shares the same name as the president. But you see Janet just looking at going. And Joe's asking her questions, and she's just like flipping pages and going through whatever. And then she looks up and goes, "Yeah, I think so."
She's playing, like, what is it, Tetris? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, or just looking, it's like, she's not even paying attention. And I've only met one person in my entire life, Doc Pelzel, our radio professor at KFJC in Los Altos Hills, the first college radio station I was at. He was an effing genius, as I would say. Had a PhD in chemical engineering and all he wanted to do was teach radio broadcasting. And he was so damn smart that you would say 3 words and he would answer the entire conversation in like 6 words, and that was it. It was just it.
Man, how weird.
She's so busy reading whatever it is she has, and that this was just an illustration of.
I know. How weird was Pelosi's comment? How weird was that comment?
Pelosi needs to be brought before. I don't care if the Democrats win the House. I don't care if the Democrats win the Senate. Pelosi needs to be dragged kicking and screaming and to admit that before the House, and then it goes to the Senate, and then it goes to hopefully Jim Jordan or Ted Cruz as Attorney General, and it goes through the entire Justice Department, and it gets up to the Supreme Court, and yes, that lady has a date at the Justice Tree.
Yeah, the comment.
I don't know what will happen. I don't necessarily I don't want to hear, yeah, I'm responsible. I planned all of this. I want to hear that, but I want to hear what she wants to do about it. Ashley Babbitt lost her life. Ashley Babbitt lost her life supposedly because a Capitol Police officer was scared for his life, or claims he was scared for his life, and pulled his weapon and shot her and killed her. Did that have to happen? Probably absolutely not. There are so many reports. Go ahead, Jane.
About when Nancy was talking about being the last nail in the coffin, talking to Joe, telling Joe, you need to get out of this race. It was not about presidency. It was about running for the presidency. She's right. Like, you can't do this anymore. And then she said this really weird statement. She said somebody had to take a hit for the children, meaning she was the sacrificial lamb. That was like domestic violence. Who is the guy throwing the punch at her? That was who? Joe's not. It was so weird. I think the cabal is telling her, you're the one that has to tell Joe he's got to drop out of this race. And she's like, okay. But it was a domestic violence crack. You don't say that.
But I think, if anything, the cabal, I think, came to Pelosi and said, you screwed up. You were supposed to get Gavin Newsom, president of Governor of California.
Yeah.
You were supposed to get him in. We would have figured out a way to get Joe out. Gavin would have become the president. Gavin would have promised you something for being president. Maybe it was Gavin was going to become president and she was going to become governor of California.
Oh, really?
I don't really know. I've asked Michael. I think I've asked Randy. I might have asked you, Jen. I've asked Bill Muckler, who said no, he didn't see it. But if the Democrats win the House in November, because Pelosi is still in the House as a representative from San Francisco, California, does anyone see her becoming the secretary again? Bill said no. He saw Hakeem Jeffries becoming the secretary, the speaker. I do know that if the Republicans manage to keep it somehow, and I don't know how, but if they do, Mike Johnson is not going to be the speaker. And it's too bad that Jim Jordan won't be the speaker if Kamala Harris wins, because it's too bad that Jim Jordan wouldn't be the speaker, because, like I said, Jordan or Ted Cruz is my pick for the Attorney General.
Randy, in your research, did you learn that, I heard this, but it's hearsay right now, did you learn that Biden they say he was pulled out because of, and taken over to California because he was suffering COVID again? I heard that he had a stroke. Did you read anything about that?
I have not seen anything about that. But you know what? Again, we're going back to the double body, whatever. Anyways,
Apple body, right?
When he came back from his time off, he was walking from the White House to the helicopter. Oh, he was walking far ahead. Right there, a strut on him. He's like a young man again. So was that the fake Biden? Probably. He's because you don't go from walking, like an old man, half a step at a time, your hands clenched by your side, trying not to fall on your face, to strutting, across the tarmac to get to your helicopter, and it don't work that way. And that's pretty sad. When it gets to a point where I absolutely hate our country for what it's turned into, to where you can have a government that can have all these, make-believes to maintain control and power, not to mention all the stealing and, the assassinations and all that just to stay in power. It's just absolutely rips me apart the way this is our country. This is what my dad fought for. This is what I fought for. This is what millions of Americans fought for. No, it's not. We fought for a better country, a government that's designed to work for the people and not of themselves. And we've lost that, and we'll probably never get it back.
I'm starting to agree more and more. I'm hoping that maybe I'm wrong. I've said it a few times on broadcast. My granddaughter is now 3 months old, and in 61.9 years, when she's 62, how are they going to pay taxes? How screwed up is this country going to be? When she's looking at her grandchildren, what the hell's going to be left of this place? Will she ever get a chance? Will she get to be that far? And Randy says a lot. Why hasn't God come down here or just hit the button? And as I say, ashes to ashes, dust to dusted, as it was in the beginning, it will be in the end. Why doesn't it just... Do we have a God that hates us that much?
No, he wants to work through us.
That's just that upset at us that, we let him down that much that we just...
I mean, right now, this is how...
I obviously have, because I'm sitting here with this Chromebook, and I swear to God, I had a discussion with God 5.5 years ago, where God said to me, don't worry about the equipment that you don't have. Just stick with what you have, and when you need the equipment that you don't have, you will have it. And here we are. I'm fighting with an outdated Chromebook to try to get everybody on who wants to come on and share and just
Yeah, the end's not yet. There's one prophecy that I'm looking for, because everyone's banking on this peace treaty. It's supposed to be signed between Israel and Palestine, okay? And then once that peace treaty is signed, the guy who signs it is the Antichrist. And this is really weird, because Biden is bragging about he put one out. He put a peace treaty out. And I'm like, I don't think you're the Antichrist. And as soon as he does this, as soon as in the Bible, as soon as the Antichrist does this, we're supposed to be raptured. The ones that love
you
God.
Said that Trump, you said on a broadcast, and I don't remember if it was mine or that Saturday night that we all laughed and cried on the American Rebellion.
Oh, yeah.
That you said that when Trump moved the embassy to Jerusalem, that the answer to all of this was the fact that USA is in the middle
I
of
thought
the
it was
word of the
cool that
name Jerusalem.
yeah, that was cool. That was great. No, everything's about Israel. No matter
Yeah,
what happens to us, it's not about us. Israel is the apple of God's eye.
you know,
Everything is about Israel. Watch that
yeah,
clock. I mean, that's why we write
yeah,
from left to
yeah,
right. That's why we read
yeah.
from left to right.
And I
Because
go ahead.
everything goes towards Israel. I don't
Yeah,
think the people on the other side read right to left. It's so weird. Everything points to Israel. Every time there's a full moon, Israel starts a new year. That's what everything's about Israel. So
yeah,
watch that. And we're finally in the prophecy that talks about I mean, no, yeah, no kidding. They don't want elections at all, but they just want to select people. But oh, the olive tree. It says in the Bible that when he comes, it'll be when the olive tree is what blossoming, and
yeah,
it is. That is
yeah,
when what was it, 1947, when Israel became a
yeah.
country. It's all about Israel.
Yeah.
That's what this whole
Now,
thing is about.
Cindy Mills O'Klein, who is new, has something that I've never thought about until now, reading it and
Oh,
thinking about Kamala Harris. The Antichrist doesn't have to be a man.
wow.
And if the Antichrist doesn't have to be a man, Cindy answered the $1,000,000 question tonight,
You're
and
awesome, Cindy. Thank you.
then
You're right.
maybe the Antichrist is Kamala Harris. And
Yeah.
and for saying that, I'm going to get picked up tomorrow morning, and on next week it'll be Boogie with the Democrats.
Oof.
Yeah. Hey, I need to jump off, but I want to end this with two things.
We're never
You
going
know,
to do it again because we had one of the best broadcasts we ever had.
no.
Go ahead.
God, where was I? We keep talking about the Bible, the end times, all these things are happening that it was talked about in biblical times and so forth. Okay, but there's also one aspect of the story that we haven't really touched about, and this is where I think William is thinking that my belief in God is challenged. And I have to say, maybe it is. The Pentagon, our government, other governments, the guy in the street, all have these videos of flying saucers, spaceships of different sorts. Okay? Our Pentagon releases video of these UFOs chasing our jets chasing them. They're flying over our naval vessels. They're hovering over our White House. They're hovering over our military bases. So I strongly believe that there is life on at least one other planet. I can't explain why there's different styles, different shapes, different of these ships that are coming into our atmosphere.
Well,
okay. So, and before I came on here, the news was releasing there's this underground caravan, underground whatever. Okay, what do you call it? Okay, and these divers found these huge monolith of boulders that would have been used to build pyramids, absolutely perfectly squared off, weighing thousands of tons, sitting here waiting for what? To be picked up and taken somewhere. You have all these things with the various pyramids and archaeological sites showing images of spacemen, spaceships, all kinds of things that the mankind at that point in time wouldn't know was asked from a hole in the ground from. So there has to be someone else from somewhere else who has been keeping an eye on us for whatever reason. Perhaps we're their offspring. Perhaps we're their rejects. I don't know. But you know, so our world could change in two different directions. Either aliens finally decide to come down and land their ships and start taking over our governments and eating us or using us as slaves or what, I don't know. Or, God, Almighty, as we hope and believe that He is going to send His Son back with His thousands of angels to attack the military on the ground that is attacking and trying to destroy Israel. I don't know, but we're in a world where we have never been before, when we have all this going on all at the same time. And with that, folks, I have got to jump off here. My eyes are blurred. Wait.
Before
The Watchers.
Okay, I'm waiting. What?
Where you go?
The
10 o'clock tomorrow morning, Randy? Wednesday?
The Watchers. Is that from the Book of Enoch?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I know what you're talking about.
All
Thank
right.
you.
I don't, but before you go, Randy, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning caffeine.
As long as I wake up, yeah.
Okay.
We gotta let them go.
If you don't wake up, it might have to be me by myself.
Yeah, if I don't wake up, just come to my funeral, okay?
It's my no. Stop that. My fault.
No, if you don't wake up tomorrow morning, I want you to will your studio to me, and I'll walk to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, back to carry all that equipment back here myself.
Have you seen my studio as it stands right now? It is really, really nice. There's only a couple more things. I want to get, and that's more in the way of software. I do want to get some different things for the walls. I need to, find something other than the Confederate flags. I do want to get some other stuff for that.
No, you need a green screen that changes that background flag to whatever you want.
Do you know what? Well, I mean, I could use the fake green screen. I just can't, move my chair to it. Otherwise, you'll see the chair, within inside that green screen.
Yeah.
But anyways, so yeah, no. So did you see the video with my new studio?
No.
No.
Oh, okay. Hang on a second. Okay, don't go anywhere.
Awesome.
Don't go anywhere.
Nice microphone.
Hi. I gotta find you guys. You're in here somewhere. Where are you? There you are. Okay.
That's your keyboard. It's beautiful. It's colorful. I love it. There's one screen. 2 screens. Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous in a healthy way. And don't you have a laptop there too? Let's see.
Yep.
Oh, is that nice?
Hold on.
Oh, you need that for your business. That is awesome. I love it.
And I have a studio downstairs. Not quite as nice, but that's set up because I found out the hard way that my one client who lives like 5 minutes from my house and has the habit of popping in from time to time is a northerner, and she was offended by the Confederate flags.
Whoops.
So I have a real nice setup downstairs as well. Not as nice as this one.
Oh my gosh.
Charger double.
There you go.
It's got the piano, grand piano. Nicer than my kitchen. That's my
Charger double, and then put up the Israel flag.
There you go. Yeah. Dave, what I have to do is get a Google Israeli flag, save the image to your desktop, and then put that on the StreamYard setup, and then use that as a green screen.
Nice.
Okay.
Anyways, I gotta get
All
going.
right, Randy.
I just discovered something really phenomenal while I was sitting here doing my thing with you guys. I was working on this my one client, and I added a guy by the name of Christopher Savage, and someone had placed the image of Princess Diana on Christopher Savage's profile.
Well, see how they're related.
Well, Christopher, correct. So now what I got to do now is make all the connections from Sir Christopher Savage all the way forward to Princess Diana, and then my client is related to her, and of course to all the royals in between. So I got a lot of work ahead of me with that guy. So
awesome.
I'm going to bed.
Good night.
Right. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Good night.
Right,
Sleep tight and pleasant dreams to you. Here's a wish and a prayer that your dreams come.
Don't let the bedbugs play. You just say good night. Don't let the bedbugs play.
Yeah. All right, Jen, anything else?
No, thank you for having me on.
Always fun. Thursday night if you're around.
Right. Thank you, Dave. Bye, guys.
All right, Jen. Let's see. Can we do this? Oh, Jen did it for us. All right. Let's see. I apologize to anybody for the hassles that we had getting trying to get everybody on. Tried not to keep us all belly aching or me belly aching about the. I'm sorry. Let me change that. I don't like how that's looking with the Boogie with the Bull Lounge. So let's just take that off and see if we can get back to our typical white setting without crashing us like I did a minute ago. Upload that background. Anyway, we may just have to leave it there because if I don't, I'm going to crash the whole thing. So let's just not do that. Anyway, it was Boogie with the Bull, Tuesday Night Live, a copyrighted presentation of the No Budget Broadcasting Company. And thanks to Michael Anthony for stopping by. We will get William Rayfield in as soon as we can with an opportunity to speak. Chuck Cook, thank you for stopping by. Cindy Mills, thank you for stopping by. Danny Campbell, who has watched more Boogie with the Bull broadcasts than anybody else in the history of Boogie with the Bull, including me, the Bull himself. Cindy Mills O'Klein, thank you. Patricia Prestia, thank you. Suzanne Day, thank you. Ronald Farrell Jr., you're welcome to pop in anytime you want if you give us notice. Eric Leon Barton, you know you are. And I think that just about covers it. Michael Anthony, who popped in with kind words for me and other people. And we just try to do the best. Try to do the best that we can. And some nights we get it done without any technical issues, and some nights it all just falls apart. And it is what it is, as my father would say. He used to say, don't sweat the little stuff. But Boogie with the Bull, Tuesday Night Live is a copyrighted presentation of the No Budget Broadcasting Company, who is here to entertain you and inform you and maybe educate you and get you thinking. And hopefully get you in the right direction to do what you need to do. 125 people watched us tonight, and that is a lot better than I thought would be watching us. William Grant did watch us too, and he was actually the first one to be here watching us, so thank you, William, for tuning in. You're right, Cindy, it's a work in progress. We've been doing it for about 5.5 years now, and one of these days we'll get it to work right. Anyway, when this picture works and my head doesn't have weird black shadows, the weird black shadows of my headphones, but when it's set right, it actually looks like the Boogie with the Bull Lounge, and it actually looks pretty cool. Our next whatever it is, a Chromebook or a Windows laptop, or maybe even a desktop, will get us up in a newer realm where these things don't happen. Anyway, tomorrow morning, as I asked Randy, Boogie with the Bull Wednesday morning caffeine, the Hump Day edition. We'll talk more about this and some other stuff. When people ask me what Boogie with the Bull is all about, I tell them it's politics plus whatever comes out of our mouths. And that will be what it will be. The American Rebellion is no longer with us. They had moved to Wimkin and Rumble and ended last Friday. So remember it, and that's what it is. Just remember it and listen to whatever he said. What time with coffee? Coffee is at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning caffeine. Our broadcast times normally are Monday and Wednesday, 10 a.m. morning caffeine, 7 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday and Thursday, and 10 o'clock Friday morning Eastern. Bill Muckler and I do Red Friday and Bill's commentary. So again, Monday and Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern, usually Randy Rhodes and I and whoever else might come along. Tuesday and Thursday evening, 7 p.m. and with me and whoever else may come along. And Friday morning, Bill Muckler and I with Red Friday, remember everyone deployed, and Bill's commentary as well. And if anybody ever wants to be on a broadcast, let me know ahead of time, and we'll make sure the Chromebook is up to it, or we have the right console with us to be able to get up to 8 of us on together. It could be a whole lot of fun. Anyway, 125 people watched us with 30 live shares. If you like today's broadcast, please share it anywhere you think it belongs on Facebook. And if you want to share it off of Facebook, go to the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel, and share it from there. There's a live chat on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. There's a live chat on my profile here on Facebook. Next thing to happen, I think, is going to be Rumble, trying to build something over there, and some other places. I really don't know. Right now, we're just kind of watching the election to see what happens and where we're going to go. If the Democrats take over the world, we may not be on Facebook any longer. We may be on Truth Social. We may be on Streetlock. We may be wherever we can be on. So anyone is invited to join us on a broadcast as long as the Chromebook is capable of getting you on camera, or you wait with us and we see what we can do. I'm not going to ask you for money to donate to help us update the equipment. I just don't want to do it. It was always my belief all along that we would not ask you for money. We might have things that you might want to own, like the beautiful red, white, and blue Loaf Kitty. It's kind of hard to get her onto the camera so that you can see her, but I will get her on the camera tomorrow morning so that you can see her. With the background, it's kind of hard to see, but she's a red, white, and blue Loaf Kitty. My daughter-in-law makes it. She wants $22 for it, and plus whatever the shipping is. But tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., I'll get it on here so that you can see it. Get some pictures posted on the Boogie with the Bull Uncensored Facebook group if you want to see it, and you're more than welcome to order it. Also, the Boogie with the Bull Uncensored 20-ounce coffee mug is right here. Again, these things aren't going to show up very well because of the background, so I will get it on here tomorrow morning. We'll have it on the broadcast, and you'll be able to see it. Jen Woodruff has the coffee mug on the Etsy site, I believe, and it is, unfortunately, it's expensive. It's a $10 coffee mug. It's $9.95 plus $9.95 to have it shipped to you. So it's a $20 coffee mug And if you like ceramic coffee mugs, it's a beautiful white ceramic coffee mug with the Boogie with the Bull Uncensored logo on it. And we're working on a 40-ounce ceramic, 40-ounce travel mug very quickly as well. Again, I don't want to merchandise to try to make sure we have money to spend on what we need to do. I just want to keep doing the broadcasts, and we'll get what we need very quickly, and we'll be ready to go each Monday and Wednesday and Tuesday and Thursday and Friday. We'll just keep doing what we can keep doing as long as we can do it. Anyway, it's 9:02. It's time for people to go to bed, lay down, rest, and get up and enjoy your day. We will see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. on the Dave Logan profile here on Facebook and on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. And we'll do it again. Double B's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast has come to an end. Like I said, with the background up, you can't see it anyway. Double B's for victory one more time.